happened. Now they switch it up. And now they still trying to do it. It's like,
Give
no,
yourself
we
that
need to.
credit because you deserve it. You know how hard you work. You know the sacrifices that you made.
What's going on today, y'all? This is episode 5 of the Be Better Than Yesterday channel. I'm your co-host, Maurice Sutton.
I'm your host, David Kinnerson.
And today, we're going to be talking about setting an example.
Set the example. Man, so yeah, like he said, today's topic is setting the example. So when you guys think about setting the example, just take a second and ask yourself, like, what example am I setting for those that are coming after me? Those who may go down the same path that I'm going down, or somebody that's looking up to me. There's people out there that are looking up to you that you may not even know, and there are some that like, okay, I'm a role model to this person. Like these young individuals are emulating the same actions that I'm doing. So ask yourself, what am I doing? Like, how am I putting them on the best path to success as well as myself? And so that's what we're talking about with setting an example. So, Reese, I'll ask you, like, what are some or whom are some of the people you used to look up to, and like, what examples have they set for you?
Well, playing football, I always used to look up to my coaches. Like, I always thought my coaches were like real stand-up men, like, that have morals, that respect the game of football, respect us. The way they implemented, discipline and just working through adversity, being tenacious and stuff like that. I used to look up to them a lot. Um, Growing up, one of my role models, like the person who I would always want to be around, would normally NFL players. As a youngin, playing football, you always look up to people that's in the league.
For sure.
Um, yeah, those were about it. What about you?
Now, I'll say for me, I had a couple. I'll say a couple people that I definitely looked up to. Definitely I look up to like family. My pops, my brother, and everything. Like they set some good examples, and then also like our coaches, mentor. You still got Andre Wright.
Coach Wright.
He was definitely a good mentor. As well as football wise, I said I always wanted to be like Adrian Peterson as well. What I'm saying? I looked up to him a lot. And just definitely, just a lot of the men that I've come across in my life have set some good examples, as well as, females too. My mom, she definitely is someone that instilled like hard work into me too. So I definitely shout out to my parents for that. But just the trials and tribulations that I've been through, seeing those ahead of me, those who've been down, have gone through their own adversity, watching them get through it. So if I see them, I'm like, okay, they're making it through it. They're getting up every single day, doing what they have to do, making it happen, regardless of whatever the situation is. I know I could do the same thing. So when I talk and think about like someone setting an example, I'm like, now that I'm an adult, I'm living my life. It's time for me to do the same thing. It's time for me to set the example for my, nephews and my nieces, and also as well as just other young men that I come around. We do mentoring, and along with Be Better Than Yesterday, it's not just about personal training and selling clothes, selling gear, and stuff like that, but mentoring and trying to show young men, young women that there's a better life out there, but you have to work for it. It's not going to be given to you easily. But this is something, if you want that great life, if you want that life of luxury, if you want just a life of happiness, you're gonna have to go through some turmoil to get it. You're gonna have to fight tooth and nail to get to that life that you're ultimately trying to get to. So, going back to what we said on the last episode, I'm sorry, be appreciative of where you are, but also still keep striving to get to where you're trying to go. You know what I mean? So when I think about these examples that I'm setting, I try to induct myself in a way that, okay, if they're around, is this something that I would want them to do, right? Especially now that I have two sons, one on the way and one's here. So that's even another motivation just to continue to make sure I'm trying to be the best person that I can be, right? Because I want them to grow up and be able to look up to their dad and say, man, my dad was, he was my role model. He was somebody that I look up to. I want to be like him. I I want to be better. I definitely want my children to be better than what I am. But it's gonna take that hard work, and I'm gonna have to instill that in them. So the more that I'm self disciplined, the more that I strive to be great. Naturally, my kids are gonna pick that up too. You know,
You
because
know, they say if your kids gotta go look through outside the home for a role model, then you know
yeah,
you're not a good fit. And if your
mm,
kids gotta look somewhere else other than you for a role model, then
right, right. And you also like when you think about it, I'll say like having having kids, it definitely change your behavior because you want to ask yourself like you know the things that I'm doing, what I want my son doing, right? Or like one of the questions someone asked, I heard somebody ask, it was just like, if you had a daughter, would you be okay if she was dating, a man who acted just like you, right? And
yeah.
and don't get me wrong, like none of us are perfect, right? We all make mistakes. We all mess up. We're gonna hurt somebody in life. Like you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings. You're gonna hurt. You're gonna be that mean person to somebody. It's not intentional, but you're just going through the growing pains of life, right? You're going through those trials and tribulations, and in those trials and tribulations, we're just all still trying to figure life out. So we may make a decision and it may come off selfish to somebody or it may be hurtful to somebody else. And, you can be apologetic. You can, apologize for your actions. You can take accountability for your actions too. But also, at some point you're going to learn like, it's not intentional, but you did what you did, learn from it, take accountability and keep going forward. Don't hold yourself back because of what you did in the past. Don't beat yourself up because of the decisions or the mistakes that you made. It's just part of your story. Right? We all have a story. And I think we can, learn from it. Learn from our own past, learn from each other's past, everything. You know what I mean?
I think one of the biggest things about setting examples, like you said, you never know who's watching. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the youth nowadays, all they do is be on YouTube, or be on social media.
Mm-hmm.
They getting like a lot of information from that daily. So if you can be like a positive influence outside of social media, like in real life,
Mm-hmm.
then that plays a big factor in helping these kids. Because a lot of these kids nowadays, they becoming more and more like dangerous. So being honest, we didn't do some of the stuff we didn't have some of the resources and stuff that they have
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. So whether it's music, whether it's technology, and we didn't have none of this growing up. All we did was go outside and play,
Yeah.
tag or play football in the yard. I don't really see too many kids doing that nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
They just all getting together, playing the game, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's like you gotta enjoy life outside of, you know,
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
builds character.
Definitely, definitely. It does build character and it builds camaraderie too,
Yeah.
around the people. Like, saying people that you outside running around in the yard with gonna be the same guys that you probably going to high school with, playing on the same
Mm-hmm.
football team or basketball team or whatever sport that y'all play or whatever. Like these are the people that you gonna look back like, yeah, man, we grew up together in the same neighborhood and stuff. But you definitely hit it when you said like the as much all the information that they're taking in from the music, you know, from just movies and everything, TV shows. Like the industry is definitely giving us an image of how they want us to act. Right? They're giving us this image of how they want us to act, how they want us to talk, how they want us to dress, and that's all that's being portrayed. That's all that's being out there. So a lot of the youth, a lot of our young people, and us, even still, like we're still, easily persuaded as adults too. We're picking up on that and we're taking that in. So I'll say you just got to find a balance, right? Like there has to be some type of balance. So if you like, say for instance, your kid is listening to this kind of stuff and you're listening to it, also make sure you're listening to something that's positive, putting something, that's positive in your head that makes you think positively about life, about yourself, about people around you, about your situation, because, you know, music is food for the thought, right? It's food for your brain. So what you're putting in, what you're taking in is how you're going to reflect your own life. It's how you're going to talk, it's how you're going to dress, and we talk about, there's artists who they make conscious music. They make music that's soothing. It's still rap or it's whatever, but it's not it doesn't get as much radio time versus the ones that's portraying stealing cars or going shooting up the block or whatnot. And I'm gonna tell y'all kids like that stuff. It ain't worth it. Don't get caught up in that lifestyle because a lot of these artists, they're rapping about it, but they don't live. They don't have to live in the hood anymore. They don't have to. If they're doing it, it's because they choose to. They have the money to get out. You on the other hand, if you don't have that money, you should be really working to get to that point to where you have the option to move around. You have the option to do whatever it is that you want to do. But if you're still, working, trying to make ends meet, like don't sit here and think like, okay, I should be out in the streets doing this. I should be out doing that. Like set the example, especially if you have kids or even if you don't have kids. Just set the example. Be a pillar in your community. Be somebody that the kids will want to come up and talk to you. Be somebody that people are willing to say, hey, can you talk to my child and give them some advice? Can you, just show them the ropes or take them up under your wing, mentor them? Be that person that you can help out in your community, in your house, everywhere. Because at the end of the day, you're leaving your legacy. And when we leave this earth, like what's going to be said about you?
Hmm.
And that's going to be the lasting thing. Like, how was this person? Were they somebody that was helpful? Were they somebody that was, spiritual? Was they somebody that, we can all look up to? Are they going to be, will they be somebody that's missed? People are going to miss you. And your legacy is so important, all right? Because when we're gone, that's all people gonna know you for.
That's all people gonna remember you for.
You don't get a second chance to come back and redo the things that you did. So all the decisions that you have made in the past, you made them. We can't go back and change them. But what we can do is learn from our decisions and learn from the choices that we made in the past. Some may be good, some may be bad, but when you learn from them and then you start going forward, you're gonna act differently. You're gonna think differently. Change it up, change up your lifestyle, right? I think that's definitely something. That's something we can all work on. Don't get caught up in this industry of how you think, you should be, or how one how one may want you to be. Be your individual self.
That's the biggest thing. Like with a lot of people, especially today nowadays on social media, they try to portray themselves as something they're not really accustomed to. And a lot of times get them in trouble. Like social media versus reality is like a big thing nowadays because nowadays you don't see too many people actually posting like their real life. Like you don't see too many people posting like them going to school or they're working their real 9 to 5. All you see is people flexing all the time. Instagram is for flexing.
Mm-hmm.
People just post their wins. They don't post their losses.
All right. If you're willing to show your downside, that just it shows how authentic you are as a person. Let everybody know, hey, I don't have it all figured out. I don't have life together, but I'm doing the best that I can. And so I'm gonna show you my wins. I'm gonna show you my losses. Hopefully you have more wins, but that's life.
That's life.
Right.
It is what it is. You're just gonna have to get through it. Through your own struggles.
Get through your own struggles, because going through your struggles, going through adversity, that's what makes you you. Oh,
can't skip that part.
You can't. You can't. It's easier to just get through it than to try to go around it, because when you're faced with adversity, when you're faced with so much trial and tribulations, like you learn a lot about yourself. You will learn like, okay, how mentally tough I am. How patient am I? How resilient am I? Like you will start to figure this stuff out, and then also too is going to instill some of that in you when you learn to just face the process, take it head on, don't run from it, don't run around it, just get through it, right? Because it's ultimately preparing you for that next step to the life that you say you want. Because that's how life is, man. You say you want something, life is going to put you to the test and figure it out. Some make it through, some don't. Some get stopped in their tracks, and some may stop and then pick it up later on, and then some just don't even try. Right? Be that person that gives it a shot. Be that person that you know. I'm trying to be the best person that I can be. I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to do everything right. I'm trying to be perfect, and I'm gonna continue to strive for perfection, even though that's an impossible task. But at least I'm trying. You
Give
know?
it all you got every day. Like you said, just at least try. A lot of people just be scared to even try. They're afraid of failure. Can't
Yeah.
be afraid to fail. The
Hmm.
book say fail forward.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. You have to fail for it because that's how we learn.
Yeah.
It's through our failures. We learn through our failures. We learn through the hard times, and also those hard times are making us stronger because you're going to continuously face hard times. Like life is never going to be smooth sail, easy the entire way. You're going to face adversity. You're going to face heartbreak. You're going to face failure. You're going to deal with all of it. You're going to have your days where you just are feeling down in the dumps and you feel like there is no possible way to get out. You wake up every day, thank God, and keep pushing. Put one foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm.
One foot in front of the other. I sometimes I think about that like when I'm working out and and I'm running and I have to run a long distance. And I was like, man, my legs hurt, my back hurt, or something like thirsty. And you're like, man. But the more you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep putting one foot in front of the other, one foot, just going, going, and going. Eventually,
Yeah, you're gonna get to the finish line.
you finish, right? You're done. Man, you don't have to worry about it anymore because it's complete. But if I stop in the middle of my tracks, I'm not done. Right. If I keep stopping, now I'm just prolonging the process.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. The finish line. The finish line ain't moving. It's just you.
Mm-hmm.
You stopped. You stopped. So you got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. You gotta get up and make the best of every single day. Make the best of it because if you don't, you're just gonna be one person that's constantly feeling down about yourself, constantly trying to figure out what it is that I want to do, what it is, where do I want to go, who do I want to be. And all while you're doing that, somebody is watching.
Life is too short to not get up and chase your dreams every day.
It is. That is for sure. That is for sure. Chasing your dreams is what's gonna give you life. Chasing your dreams is what's going to, you know, give you that peace of mind, give you some type of hope. That's
Some type of purpose.
yeah. That's what we need.
Make your life fulfilled.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think a lot of us, and what do you think? Like, do you think that a lot of like young people or like people our age, like we just lack hope? You know.
I think mostly the people our age, and coming up on their 30s or in their 30s, they've given up on their dreams and aspirations because they feel like it's too late. It's never too late. You only fail if you quit. You only won't make it if you quit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you stop going, if you stop chasing that dream, then yes, you're going to fail. There's no doubt about it. If you keep going every day, you're gonna get there
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. If when you think about quitting, like when you think about quitting, like it just puts you into this like dark place, and like you will never get out because that's all you're gonna think about is the what if scenario. Like, what if I would have just kept going? What if I would have put in just a little bit extra effort? What if I would have done a little bit more? Right. And ultimately, when you lay on your deathbed, you want to say, I did everything that I said I wanted to do, or I at least tried. At least give yourself that. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. So life is gonna constantly throw you. Life is gonna put you through the ringer. You're gonna get chewed up. You're gonna get spit out. You're gonna get knocked down. But we all know that. That's the inevitable. We know we're gonna get knocked down. We know we're gonna go through these pains. But how you respond to them is solely up to you. How you choose to face adversity It's up to you. And then while you're doing that, someone else is looking. Someone else is watching your every move. You never know who's watching you. So go out, enjoy life, but also work hard and create the life that you truly say that you want. Don't just talk about it. Right? Don't just keep saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna go do this. This is my plan." Okay, come back, ask. So how's it going? Oh, I haven't started yet. Why not?
It's everybody. Excuses are like excuses are like I
Yeah,
don't want to say that,
we
but
got. It's the
everybody got
truth.
one.
It's the truth. Yep.
Everybody got one.
Yeah, that is the truth, man. So don't get in the habit of creating excuses for yourself. Don't. That's a bad habit. A bad habit is creating excuses of why something didn't work out, why this didn't work out, why this didn't work out. If it didn't work out the way that you wanted, what did you make out of it? At
What
least,
lesson did you learn from it?
yeah, yeah, because the lesson is very, very important. And the lesson that you learn from whatever that situation that you're going through is going to take you through the next one, and then the next one. It's just so on and so on. You gonna next thing you know, you're gonna look up. You're gonna like, man, this is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing. You ever like when we had to go through training and that first day, especially on like our first day of pads, when you put your pads on and you hitting, and that first day is hell. You like, oh my god, I can't breathe.
Some people like I ain't gonna lie. The first day we be putting on pads, like I kind of be excited, but I kind of like still get like the bubble guts, not bubble guts, but
I
like
know, yeah, the butterflies,
and it's
yeah.
like, alright, and then like the conditioning, like the 16 110s we had to run, like that's gonna test you for real.
Is it?
That's gonna test 16 110s in football is like you running from one side of the field 110 yards there. You got to do it within whatever your position is. You got like a set time, and you have to do it 16 times. And if you or somebody in your position group doesn't make it in a certain amount of time, it don't count. You got to keep doing it until everybody makes it on time.
Yeah. So don't be that person, right? Don't be that person that you're just not giving effort and it's holding everybody back.
Yeah.
That's who you don't want to be. Like that's the person you don't want them around. Like get them out. Like it's one thing if you're literally giving it your all and you still don't make it, so you know like okay, I need to keep working at it. But if you know there's more you can do, if you know there's more like I should be doing and you're just choosing not to because you lack the motivation or you just don't want to do it, don't be on the team. Like don't get involved in any group thing because now not only are you holding yourself back, you're holding others back because you have this mindset of, I don't care. Like it's about me and it's not about the team and all that other stuff. You don't be that guy. Right.
And the guy you want to be is the person that goes back and helps the people that's showing like they're lacking effort or they're giving effort and they just physically can't do it. You want to be the person to go back and run with them and show everybody like, hey, I'm a leader. I'm gonna help these dudes get to the point that we all need to be at, all on one accord. That's the person you want to be.
Yeah, yeah, and that goes as a leader. You lead. They always say lead by example.
Lead by example.
All right, lead by example. Say you cannot truly be a leader unless you are willing to follow. So you got to be willing to follow directions. You got to be able to willing to listen. And then once you have mastered all of these, then you start leading. Sometimes the people who are leaders aren't even the ones who are expecting to be one.
Nope. Every boss was once a worker.
Yep. And like they're not even expected. It's just they're caught by surprise because they're coming in every day working hard. They keep their head down. Don't talk bad about anybody. They're motivating others, trying to do whatever it is that they can to help out. And next thing you know, people are looking to them and asking them for advice. How did you get to this position? How did you get here? What is it that you had to go through to get to where you're at? And I want to be that person where I work hard enough. I work that much harder. So because I'm putting in all this work for myself and I want to be great, naturally the people around me say, okay, well I want to do the same thing. I want to work hard because I don't want nobody to outwork me. Right.
Have that mindset that you're not gonna be outworked. You
Mm-hmm.
have that mindset you're gonna be a killer at whatever you do, whether it's sports, rapping, content, just whatever it is. Like if you had that mindset that I'm not gonna be outworked, you're gonna be unstoppable.
Yeah,
Unstoppable.
you,
Trust me.
you definitely will because that work ethic that's gonna take you so much farther.
Yeah.
You know, but they say that hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard.
Uh-huh.
That's the truth because we all have some God given ability, but along with that God given ability, you have to have some type of work ethic. You have to be willing to go the extra mile and do something that the others aren't willing to do. That's what's gonna set you apart. Do the necessary things, the small mundane things that others are just be like, no, I don't feel like doing all this, so I'm not worried about it. No, get in, get it done, and then go about your day. Right.
You gotta do the stuff that you don't want to do. That's what a lot of people be running from it. Like do the stuff that you don't want to do, so that every day it's gonna be easier the more you do it. Like me personally, when I was back in college, like strength training and everything, I hated doing squats. I hated it. I hated it.
But
Don't know why.
you hated squats?
Yes,
I did not know
I
that.
hated. I couldn't. That was the one workout I couldn't stand doing. But now it's like when I go to the gym, I would do squats on Monday because obviously Monday is the hardest day of the week. You just getting over the weekend. You do squats on Monday, the rest of your week is gonna feel you're gonna feel like you could just overpower it because you're already doing the stuff that you don't want to do on the hardest day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely right on that. Definitely, I did not know you did not like doing.
Bro, I cannot stand squats.
You know,
But eventually got me because I had like close to a 40 inch vert. So
yeah,
you know.
I didn't have that. I definitely did have that shit. Nah, man, I still struggle to touch the rim. I never figured out how. Like, I don't know. But anyway, man, I love leg day. I love leg day. Yeah, I haven't. It's just something that it's just something about it, man. You gotta love leg day. But
Yeah,
you know what I hate? Long distance running.
yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
long distance running. Like it kills me all the time. I'm like, oh my
That's
god.
why I never ran track because it's just too much unnecessary running. Like you gotta run here, run there. I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
make you fast though, but like, come on, bro.
I love. Don't get me wrong, the sprinters. The
Yeah, like
sprinters
the
are
hundred, the
strong.
100 yard, 200 yards. I love that.
But
Distance
like,
running, no,
I hated that,
no.
man. Like, and that's something that I had to go through while in my training, and just like, and they tell you like, oh man, you got to do long distance running. I'm like, oh god, I hate that. Like, just yeah, it's boring. And it's
Yeah,
like, but you got to
you
just
gotta get through
you
it.
got to get through it, right? If you say this is what you want, and they tell you, okay, this is what you're gonna have to go through to get it, you got to be willing. Like, it's gonna, you got to ask yourself, is this really what I want to do? And if it is, are you willing to go through and face the adversity to get to where you want to go? And if you're in the midst of it now and you're saying like, you know what, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like, if you're realizing that it's not what you want to do, is it because of what you have to go through to get it, or is it truly because you don't
You
want it?
don't really want it. That's all it be.
All right. Like, a lot of the times we go through some stuff, or like we say we want something, and we really gotta buckle down, make a lot of sacrifices that no one tells you about, sacrifices that you may not even think you needed to make, but you have to make in order to get to where you're trying to go. And those hurt. Those truly do hurt. So keep putting one foot in front of the other. All right, one foot in front of the other. Like, that's definitely something that, like, it's a true challenge, but it's gonna make you the best person that you can be. And then from there, once you make it to the other side, you are no longer going to allow others around you to quit. Like, if you hear somebody like, okay, you hear them talking about how they want to quit and give up on themselves because you made it through, that next person can make it through too. Uh, you know that next person can do it, and you see the potential. You start to see the potential in others, and you're like, man, I'm not letting you quit because you can do it. Like I know you can do it. I've done it. You can do it. We all can. It's all in us. We have the ability to do it, and we got to remember, God's not gonna put us in a situation that we can't handle.
God give his toughest battles to the strongest soldiers.
He definitely does, and but it's a test though.
Mm-hmm. Testing to see if you're ready for what you're praying for.
Yeah, because you don't pray for this lavish lifestyle, and you ain't willing to go through the mud to get it. You know, I think that's the crazy thing in itself. And it's like, you know what I think about, like when you talk about that, like, they say, um, like Jesus went down into hell, and then from there he came back. And I think all of us, we all have to go through our own struggles, right? We all have to go through our own hell
Mm-hmm.
and make it out. But too many of us, we get lost along the way. We get caught up in distractions. We get caught up in, you know, other tasks that's not meant for us. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're easily pulled off our path. And then by the time we realize how far we're off our path, it's like, man, I have to work 20 times harder just to get back to my path, then continue to go forward. Right?
I
So,
think like one of the biggest things that I hope people get through stuff is like I think we touched on this before, is being organized.
yeah.
Um,
Mm,
like if your spaces are cluttered, like your car, your home, your workstation, if it's all cluttered and clustered, just full of stuff, that's exactly the way your mind is gonna go. That's how your brain is gonna operate.
yeah.
So if you organize it, clean up, and do stuff daily like that, then it's gonna lead to better habits.
Yeah. Yeah. They say a cluttered mind is a cluttered room. Literally, your room is representing what's going on in your head. All right. So stuff is all over the place. It's all messed up. It's
That's
definitely
exactly how
it.
your life gonna go. Messed up. It's cleaning like it's to me cleaning is like therapeutic because you sitting there doing stuff, you listening to music.
Uh-huh.
It's just like you getting your life together, and you feel better afterwards.
You do. You really do. It is therapy. Like I enjoy cleaning my house sometimes. It's just like it's that's not a like it's not a chore. I will see it as like an opportunity. Like, yeah, I get to clean
Yeah,
my crib. Right. Like I get to, and then when you're done, like, man, yeah, it looks
like when you
good.
accomplish something, like yeah,
Right.
this looks good.
You know what I'm saying? Give yourself, and that goes back to last episode. Give yourself credit. All right.
Yeah,
You worked hard. You did it. All right. But don't get too thrown off to where it's like, okay, you need to clean up, and then you also need to do some work that you needed to progress your business or whatever it is. All right. So allocate some time to clean your crib. Then make sure you allocate time to focus on your business. Make sure you allocate your time to sit down and do the things that you need to do. And sometimes you're gonna have to remove yourself from your house because maybe too many distractions. You may have a lot of stuff going on, like okay, spouse and kids, everybody's wanting your attention, all this stuff going on, all this stuff needs to get done. You may have to just step away, go to the library or something, like go to the library, get your work done, and then come back. Do all that
or
little
go
stuff.
for a jog, go see nature. Like go live,
Meditate.
meditate. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Meditate. Meditate. Clear your mind. Clear your mind. Give yourself that time, that peace that you need to yourself and rest. Like relax your mind because
Once you lose that,
yeah, we go through a lot. I mean, these days can be stressful, right? All the stuff that you accumulate that accumulates on you throughout the day can just be a lot,
stressful for real.
right? All this stuff, and then you couple on like financial struggles, then you couple on like things that's going on at home or something like that, or
So at work,
work and everything, and just or your friend group and stuff. Like it's a lot. So one, have that positive outlet, find a good outlet. Because again, your outlet, whatever your habits are, your kids are watching. Your nieces, nephews, young people are watching. They watching what you're doing. So just be mindful of, be mindful of the things that you do, and especially be mindful of those who are around you when you're doing certain things. So keep that in mind, because what you're doing, the little ones, they're gonna pick up them same habits, and they're gonna start doing the same thing, and then you're gonna be telling them like, man, I don't want you doing this, I don't want you doing it. But if you're telling them you don't want them to do it, like, how are you showing them to? Right? Like, don't just tell them. Don't just say, hey, what's the old saying? Do as I say, not as I
Not as
do.
I do.
Yeah, like you have to lead literally by example. Because I can sit here and say, you guys go out there and work hard, and we could just say on this podcast all day, every day, like, put forth that effort, and then the second we end it, now we just going back to kicking it all day, not doing nothing.
Yeah, we be hypocrite.
Right. So we want you guys to see the progression that we're going through. We want you guys to see the progression that we're making, as we thrive in this podcast, as the episodes go along and further, as we get deeper into what we're doing here, you guys will see the progressions, right? Because it's baby steps,
That's all it is.
right?
One step at a time.
Baby steps, and like, you ever just like look back and think about like some of the like bad decisions you made, and you're like, God damn, like, what in the world was I thinking doing?
I'll share a story with y'all. The day I turned 21, when I first turned 21, I got arrested 2 days later, and he was there.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I was like it was just like one of the decisions that wasn't one of the smartest decisions. I was young, you still make mistakes when you're young, and one of the biggest like um uh like one of the biggest things that changed me was seeing my mom cry in that courthouse. Like when they took me out of shackles, seeing my mom cry when they took me away just made me want to, like, I'm clearly going down the wrong path.
Yeah,
And now it's almost 10 years later, and now I have a career in that same field.
that is true. You do.
So
Yeah, you definitely came a full 360, bro.
180,
Yeah.
360, you're in the same place.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's it. 180.
People always get that confused, but I get it. It just sounds right.
right?
Yeah, but if you do a 360, you're in the same place.
Now, remember that time with the seatbelt? I told you to put your seatbelt.
Oh no, that was the first time. That was the second time I got arrested. The first time I got arrested,
I told you to put your seatbelt on, bro.
All right, we gonna say this story. The first time I got arrested, I was driving. My license was suspended, but it was getting off suspension the next day. I'm going to pick him up. We on our way to my crib. He's sitting here telling me like, "Hey, put your seatbelt on." I'm like, "Man, we just going to my crib. It's like 5 minutes away." I'm like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "All right, bro. No, I ain't gonna tell you again. Put your seatbelt on." Not even 2 minutes later, police pull up behind me. Police officer pull up behind me. He run my license plate. Run my license. My license was suspended that day, but it was still getting off suspension the next day. But because it was suspended that day, they came and arrested him. And you could just see his face. He's like, "I told you,
bro." I was so bad. I'm like, man, just put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, I did listen. That's another thing. Listen sometimes.
Man, sometimes God will give us a sign, and it's like literally right in front of our face, and we just don't listen.
And the sign will put your seatbelt on. Drive with seat without your seatbelt.
You're like, damn, man.
It was like literally 5 minutes from my house. Police officer pulled me over. I wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
I still think I could have drove the car home.
Yeah, they towed my car because that was just him being petty. Like that was just some petty stuff.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I'm in that career field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Life be doing 180.
Right. It definitely does. You never know what life will take you. Right. That's the thing. You don't know where life will take you. So when you like truly, when you work hard at all the things that you do, doors are going to open up for you naturally. Right. Like these doors that, we're praying that God opens them. One, we have to show that we're willing to put the work in. Right. So if we're asking for, what are we doing to prepare ourselves for the blessing that we're asking for? Then from there, when these opportunities present themselves, What are you going to do to maintain it?
You gotta pray to maintain it that you keep it.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to put in the work to keep it. So it's definitely it's life is a funny thing, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and sometimes I truly miss being a kid.
Oh yeah.
For real. Like I just miss that, not having all those responsibilities, not having to, worry about like how you gonna feed the family, or paying for this or paying for that, or just all this stuff. Like, man,
Care in the world when you're a
man.
kid.
And now you look back when they be like, oh, stay in the child's place. I definitely see what they be talking about, bro.
My mama told me she brought me into this world. She could take me out. Sometimes I still ask her, like, "Mom, do that offer still stand?"
Can we
I'm
go
ready
back
to go.
like I just, if I could go back with all the knowledge that I have now, I would change a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
Like you said, that's life.
that's life. And so, what can you do though? Right? Well, you just learn from the mistakes and you move forward. And I'll say this though, to all the young ones out there, man, don't be in a rush to grow up. All right, like don't throw your childhood away off stupid stuff and getting yourself into trouble. And now, like, all of it's gone just because someone said something crazy to you, or you have to prove yourself for something.
Peer pressure.
Right? Like, live your life, man. Be a kid. Enjoy it, because those times, you won't get those times back. Right? Once it's gone, it's gone, and you gonna look back and wish, I wish I would have just stayed away. I wish I would have just done this. I wish I would have just got into sports instead. If you know you're following a crowd that's constantly getting you in trouble, if you're around a crowd that's constantly, almost putting you in near death situations, reevaluate. And if you're an adult, don't do not, put the youth in a bad situation. Don't make the young ones a crash out, because they're that impressionable where they're going to listen to you, because again, they look up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you tell them to go out and go do this or go do that or whatever, knowing that, yeah, they most likely gonna get caught, but I'm sending them out there to do it because we think that they're dumb enough to do it. Like, don't be that
Yeah,
person.
don't be that dude.
Just stop it. Like, if you can save a life by having somebody change their ways, then you've done your job. All it takes is one life to be saved, because too many of us, especially too many of us young black men out here dying off stuff that ain't worth it.
Black people, black men specifically, are the biggest threat
Right?
in this country.
Like, you do not need to put yourself in harm's way, because danger will find you. It's just, why add to it? Right? Life is already dangerous. Life is already, throwing all kinds of stuff at you. So why constantly put yourself in like, you're just upping the ante of getting yourself in trouble. You're upping it on getting yourself killed. And when you're dead, there's no reset button.
You can't come back.
Nope. There is no coming back. And where you don't want to see your mom like cry. I think that one of the toughest things that I've seen is, I saw like the young man, he got shot in the head, right? So, it was he was taken to the hospital, and they weren't able to bring him back. But watching his mom cry over him, like, that is crazy, because it's like, man, she brought you into this world, and somebody took you out, and you just sitting on the porch. Next thing you know, you caught around to the head, and now your mom, your family over here crying and everything like that. And unfortunately, we may not live in the best area where it's safe, but don't add to it. Right? Work to get out of it.
I
That's
think
what.
it's hard to be. It's hard to be that the person that stands out. It's easy to follow the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to do what everybody else doing, but it's hard to go the other way and do your own thing.
Yeah. And when you are that person that goes the opposite way, people are gonna make fun of you. People gonna call you all kinds of names. People gonna talk bad about you. People, even if you were that person that was in the crowd doing stuff, and then you decide to break away, people are gonna constantly throw in your face the things you used to do in your past. But if you know that's not you anymore, just don't wear your heart on your sleeve. Brush them off. Keep going forward. Because sometimes people want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. And when you're working to better yourself, when you're working to put yourself in the best situation, when things are actually changing in your life, people are going to start falling off. Not because you want them to, it's just where God is taking you.
You know,
Not
people
everybody
can't
is meant to
come.
go along. And naturally, they're going to start doing things. They're going to start like being a certain way. And they're just removing themselves from your life because you're going somewhere where they're not right now, you know. And what you can do is you can leave a trail, right? You can show them, hey, this is what I'm doing. Maybe this can help you, or these are some of the things that I did. You can take this and implement it in your own way to get yourself out. Some people genuinely don't want out. Some people want to stay in that lifestyle. Some people want to go in that constant circle, just round and around and around, just struggle, struggle, struggle. And for what? Right? So you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the future generations that's coming after you to do something better. Find a way to be better. Every way. Because it's worth it. You know?
All right. So, ready for the quote of the day?
Yeah. Give me the quote of the day.
The quote of the day comes from this poster I seen downtown. It says, "Life is not a vending machine," and it was meaning that sometimes we think growing up is like a vending machine, and all we need to do is continue to drop more years until the slot will automatically be attained. But true growth and maturity cannot be copied. A person's life cannot be acquired through replication nor handed down as inheritance. It must be earned.
Mm.
That's deep.
That is deep. That's deep, man. Especially you can't inherit that life.
You
Right?
gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. So if you make it, let's say you make it and you know this successful person, you got all this money and living this lavish lifestyle, and you got your kids, they gotta earn it too. All right.
Yeah.
They gotta earn it.
I'm just handing down to them because then they'll be spoiled and don't know what it's like.
Yeah. Everybody gotta have that work ethic. Right. And then it's you gotta teach it to them. You gotta teach it to them. So we hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. We hope to have you guys, join us as we continue this journey on this podcast here. This is episode 5. All right. I'm your host, David Kennerson.
I'm your co-host, Maurice Sutton.
This is the Be Better Than Yesterday podcast where inspiration finds you. We hope to see you guys next week. Be safe.
Tuning out.